In today's episode, we'll discuss some exciting developments regarding the Cybertruck's boat mode, new insights into Tesla's upcoming $25K car, and the ongoing legal defense of Tesla's autopilot system in court. The stainless steel Cybertruck has been confirmed to be water-ready thanks to the introduction of a new feature called Wade Mode on December 6th. A Tesla enthusiast on X.com shared a picture of the Cybertruck's off-road settings, which included a toggle function labeled Wade Mode. This mode, as described, will raise the vehicle's ride height and pressurize the battery to ensure a safe ride through water. While the description is relatively straightforward, it doesn't provide specific details on how Wade Mode should be utilized. But from the recent release of its specifications, we know that the max ground clearance of the Cybertruck is just over 17 inches in extract mode, which is the full extension that would give the Cybertruck a pretty respectable depth capability that it could navigate. By pressurizing its battery structure, the truck would keep its electronics safe from water and allow for a bit of buoyancy as well. However, it wouldn't really help with water any deeper than a shallow river or a flooded roadway. It's absolutely not going to help clear a channel or pond like CEO Elon Musk said he wanted it to handle. For the last few years, Elon Musk has been saying that the goal would be to have the Cybertruck be able to navigate small waterways, going so far as to say that he wanted to be able to travel from Starbase in Boca Chica, Texas, to South Padre Island nearby. Unfortunately, this Wade mode couldn't handle that. Without knowing the mechanics behind the battery pressurization, it's impossible to tell whether the Cybertruck could at least act as a raft in that sort of depth. But without a propeller, the truck would lose the ability to travel more than a couple of knots once its tires leave the ground. Now, that doesn't mean that this mode isn't good to have. With the increasing amount of dangerous weather, drivers are bumping up against hazards like flooded roadways more and more. Wade mode would allow a Cybertruck driver to clear most of this sort of danger and get to where they're going, plus help out drivers who often get flooded out by a deceptively sunken road. And who knows, the mode proves that the Cybertruck can handle getting wet without damage. So maybe the internal accessories team could work out an electric propeller attachment that owners could buy if they wanted to imitate the amphibious cars of the 1960s. In the wake of the Cybertruck's debut on November 30th, Tesla fans have received a flood of new information, both about the new stainless steel truck and other important Tesla projects on the horizon, like the so-called Model 2. On December 5th, the folks at Monroe Live posted a video of auto industry veteran Sandy Munro interviewing Tesla CEO Elon Musk. The vast majority of this sit-down was focused on the Cybertruck and, of course, covered a good bit of the engineering details, as Sandy's expertise gives him better insights here. However, for a brief few minutes, Sandy was also able to get Elon to discuss a little bit about the upcoming $25,000 vehicle that Tesla announced back at the Investor Day event in March, commonly referred to as the Model 2 by the Tesla community. This new vehicle platform promises to put the company's foot firmly into the affordable EV market for the first time, as well as give Elon a vehicle to make his first serious attempt at the robotaxi idea he's been attempting to work out since the early days of his takeover at Tesla. In discussions with investors and other executives, Elon has, in the past, described this new platform as utilitarian. It won't be designed to take anyone's breath away. It's really just meant to be someone's daily driver and nothing more. Both in that presentation and in the Munro interview, Holzhausen and Musk spoke with excitement about the sheer scale of production that will be possible with the technologies they are developing. It's not like any car production that anyone has ever seen, Musk told Sandy. And while we are by now aware that Elon can let his excitement get the better of him sometimes, with Holzhausen mirroring that sort of energy in his earlier presentation, it's hard not to take notice. Elon also mentioned to Monroe that he looks over the production plans every day, insinuating that the project is already in that phase of development. Now, we can't really know if the vehicle is already mostly designed and ready for some pre-production line testing, or if the design process for this car is so intrinsically linked with the new production processes that both need to be done at the same time. But either way, it's exciting to hear that the project is blazing along at this sort of speed. It makes sense, too, considering that the production headquarters for the $25K vehicle program has been swapped to Giga, Texas, which Musk confirms for Sandy in the interview. That decision was made earlier this fall, as it became increasingly clear that the new Gigafactory in Mexico would be having a slower construction phase than Tesla was originally hoping for. Instead, the company moved the new project where their engineers were, at Giga, Texas. The way Musk is talking here, it seems a good bet to say that the new Model 2 will be unveiled in 2024, or, knowing Tesla fans, will at least be spotted by one of the community drone photographers within the next couple of months. But since the big deal seems to be with the production tech itself, we are really hoping to get a peek inside Giga, Texas soon. Tesla recently made arguments against the California Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, and their claim that the EV company had engaged in false advertising regarding its autopilot and full self-driving (FSD) software. The filing made on December 8th was the latest in a legal back-and-forth between Tesla and the DMV, going back to August 2022 when the California regulator officially opened the case. The original argument was that the claims by Tesla that their software was an autopilot of any sort was misleading and dangerous, something that could lead drivers to pay less attention while the software was activated and would lead to more accidents. Now, as Tesla vehicles are by far the most popular electric vehicles on the road, it makes a lot of sense that they'd make up such a large percentage of these sorts of accidents. But the DMV is a regulatory body, and so they couldn't just ignore these numbers. So what do they want Tesla to do here? The case states that the DMV wants Tesla to actually advertise their autonomous driving software, which is clever of them since Tesla famously does not advertise. And so a lot of these false advertising claims are in a bit of a gray area, whether or not Elon makes wild claims on the internet. But by forcing Tesla to advertise, it would also force them to add very visible disclaimers and to have some extra responsibility for what happens when drivers use their FSD software. This is obviously not what Tesla wants, but it's also a bit redundant. Watch any focused conversation from Tesla personnel about FSD, and they'll mention that this is beta software that is in development and that a driver should always be ready to take control of the vehicle. Tesla buyers have also noted that when purchasing FSD, there are disclaimers everywhere about the need to keep control of the vehicle, both in the purchase contract and in the owner's manual. The only good argument the DMV seems to have here is that most drivers don't bother reading fine print, and so going on just what Elon says, drivers could get the wrong impression about the system's capabilities. So what are Tesla's arguments then? Well, aside from the clear disclaimers in their manuals, the recent filing argues two things. First, being that the DMV has already allowed Tesla to use the term autopilot based on an investigation completed in 2014. Second, the self-driving terminology was not disallowed in the passing of fresh legislation completed by the DMV in 2016. So basically, the DMV gave permission to Tesla to use both terms on two separate occasions. It doesn't matter very much if the DMV is claiming that Elon's claims about the software contradict the disclaimers in the company's manuals. They approved the use of both terms themselves a decade ago when Tesla started using them. It's pretty likely that Tesla is going to win this case, and with the DMV being this sloppy, it's hard to blame anything else. There's an argument to be made about increasing driver education around self-driving programs, but if it is Tesla's responsibility to do that, the DMV sure isn't making a convincing case here. Like the video and subscribe for more.